stop. You're not here by accident. Something inside you already knows this moment holds significance, and that's why you couldn't scroll past. Today isn't just another day. The moon has entered Scorpio, and Scorpio doesn't ask permission. It pulls everything you've been avoiding straight into the light. The walls you've carefully built around your truths, Scorpio knocks them down. The truth that's been hiding in the corners of your mind, the truth about your relationships, your career, your money, and the identity you've been playing at today. That truth stops waiting. You feel it, don't you? The tightness in your chest, the mood that came from nowhere, the name that keeps appearing in your mind. That's not anxiety, that's recognition. You're not anxious, you're being activated. Your body knows what's coming, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. Most people will ignore this. They'll scroll past, not realizing the scorching truth they just walked by. But you're standing in the doorway of something big, and the only question is, will you step through? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will unlock something you can't ignore. And by the end of this message, you will know exactly what today's portal is revealing about your life. If you can feel it, comment truth below. Not because you should, but as a commitment to stop running from what you already know. Subscribe, not out of habit, but because you're here to face what's been waiting for you. The moon governs the emotional body, the hidden, subconscious depths of who we are. Scorpio, on the other hand, rules depth, transformation, and the truth beneath every polished surface. When the moon enters Scorpio, it becomes the most powerful portal of the month for uncovering what has been concealed. This isn't about creating drama, it's about removing the fog that allows it to exist. This is not emotional instability, it's emotional accuracy. Scorpio doesn't pull you into chaos. It shows you what's truly buried in your psyche. What you thought you understood about your feelings, your life, and your relationships gets a laser-focused spotlight. The comfort of ignorance begins to fade. Ancient astrologers considered this transit the prime time for shadow work and truth-telling. This is the moment when what has been lurking beneath the surface finally emerges. Not to tear you down, but to create a permanent shift in trajectory. Venus, now at 4 degrees Taurus, is at the pinnacle of her power in matters of love, money, and self-worth. She's not just a visitor in Taurus, she commands this space. Right now, she is calling you to examine what you value most deeply. Are you building a life based on what you truly deserve, or what you settled for out of habit or fear? At the same time, Saturn at 1 degrees Aries has crossed a significant threshold. Saturn in Aries demands karmic accountability. It forces you to face the choices you've made regarding your identity and self-worth. This isn't about punishment, it's about precision. Venus sextile Saturn opens up the karmic ledger, offering you clarity about the gap between your true value and what you've been accepting. This moment isn't about excuses, it's about accuracy. The universe is offering a clear, uncompromising look at where you've sold yourself short without even realizing it. The sun in Aries, now at 13 degrees, doesn't care for comfort zones. It's about direct energy, assertion, and removal of illusion. It doesn't allow you to maintain fictions that cost you momentum. The sun at 13 degrees Aries cuts through the fog and demands that you face the truth of who you really are. Mercury, now at 21 degrees Aries, sharpens communication and accelerates clarity. The thoughts you've been avoiding, the words you've been too afraid to speak today, they come to the surface. Scorpio digs deep. Venus and Saturn weigh your values, and the Sun and Mercury in Aries give you no exit from the truth. You might have woken up today with a sense of heaviness, a mood that arrived with no clear reason. It's not sadness nor anxiety. It's something older, something that's been waiting beneath the surface for weeks, maybe months. That weight you're feeling, it's the Scorpio Moon pulling at the emotional sediment you've tried to bury. Perhaps a specific person is surfacing in your thoughts, not with longing, but with an entirely different quality. There's a sense of unfinished business, as if your soul has returned to an unresolved conversation you can't finish from a distance. This isn't coincidence. It's the portal working its way into the hidden layers of your connections. There might also be something you've been calling fine that no longer feels fine. A relationship, a financial situation, a role you've been playing. The story you once told yourself to justify it is starting to fall apart. And Scorpio is no longer allowing that narrative to function. It's not about drama. It's about accuracy. The truth you've been avoiding is finally making its demands. Maybe your dreams have been vivid, unsettling. Perhaps you've been waking up with more questions than answers. Scorpio rules the subconscious, and while you've been avoiding the work in your waking life, your dreams have been doing the heavy lifting, exposing the truth that you've been too fearful to face. Have you felt physical heaviness today? Maybe in your chest, throat, or solar plexus. This is not illness. This is your body recognizing that emotional weight is about to move. The body is always ahead of the mind when it comes to releasing what has been buried. You may also notice a heightened sensitivity to inauthenticity, whether it's in conversations, environments, or your own behavior. The gap between what you truly feel and what you've been performing has become physically uncomfortable. Scorpio is reducing your capacity for self-deception. The tolerance for pretending has dropped to zero. Lastly, there's likely a strange mixture of dread and relief, a sense that something you've been carrying in secret is about to be set down, not easily, but finally. It's the truth beginning to find its way out of the shadows. If even 3 of these signs have landed for you, then the Scorpio Moon has already found you. It found you before you pressed play. It has been working in you since the moment this portal opened. There is a version of spiritual growth that looks only upward toward light, expansion, and elevation. And while that path holds immense value, there is another path that the chosen one must walk. This path requires something that many spiritual frameworks shy away from: descent. Scorpio is the guardian of the underground, the keeper of your psyche's subterranean archive. It's where every unprocessed truth, every swallowed emotion, and every hidden truth you weren't ready to face has been waiting. But it doesn't rot in the dark, it consolidates. It gathers weight, and it shapes your choices, often without your conscious awareness. You haven't been failing to manifest your desires. You've been running 2 operating systems simultaneously. One visible, one hidden, and the hidden one? That's been the more powerful force of the 2. The relationship you've accepted partial presence from the one you call complicated, or timing-based, or almost. Today, Scorpio places it beside Venus and Saturn's karmic ledger, asking you to count the cost of it honestly. What about the financial pattern where you've undervalued your contribution, waited instead of asking, accepted less out of fear masked as humility? Venus in Taurus does not accept that story. She knows what Taurus deserves and values, and she will not settle for anything less. Scorpio is illuminating the gap where you've settled for less, demanding you reckon with it. And what about the role you've been playing? The strong one, the reliable one, the one who holds space for everyone else while quietly drowning inside. Scorpio is asking, who is holding space for you? This isn't about feeling sorry for yourself. This is about ownership of the role you play and the energy you expend. The shadow is not your enemy. It is your inventory. It is everything you've been too afraid to examine because you feared what you might find. But the truth you're avoiding is not as destructive as the weight of carrying it unseen. The question isn't about what you're afraid to discover. It's about whether you're willing to finally confront it. To stop pretending you don't already know. The chosen one does not perform wellness, they practice excavation. They go into the places that cost them something and come back changed, not comfortable. Scorpio does not reward spiritual bypassing. It rewards honest reckoning, and on the other side of that reckoning is something that cannot be accessed by any other door. Scorpio is asking you, not what are you afraid of, but what have you already known, for longer than you want to admit that you've been pretending you didn't know. Scorpio. This portal is in your sign, and that is no coincidence. It is not comfort you are being asked to embrace, but confrontation. The moon in Scorpio is calling you to stop performing strength as a substitute for vulnerability. You've been the emotional container for others for so long, you've lost track of what's yours. Today, Scorpio urges you to excavate your own interior with the same unflinching honesty you offer to everyone else. What you discover there is not shameful, it's the foundation of the version of yourself you've been avoiding. It is not too much, it is the point. Taurus. Venus is in your sign, her home, and building towards Saturn in Aries. The Scorpio Moon sits directly opposite you, shining light on your relationship axis. Today, something in your closest connection, be it romantic, business, or even your relationship with your own self-worth, is asking for an honest accounting. You've been generous to a fault, giving the benefit of the doubt long after doubt was warranted. Venus in Taurus isn't asking you to harden, but to become accurate. What you genuinely value and what you are currently accepting are not the same list. Today is about that. Gap today is your conversation with it. Cancer. Jupiter is still in your sign, and the Scorpio Moon is activating your 5th house of joy, creativity, and the courage to desire things for yourself. For too long, you've played small not because you lack capacity, but because wanting things for yourself has felt selfish in ways. Wanting things for others never has. Scorpio is here to confront that. This is not about indulgence. It's about claiming your actual path. What you're being asked to face today is the cost of not owning your own desires, places. Mercury at 21 degrees Aries is pressing on your communication axis with unusual directness. There's something you've been deliberately not saying, not forgetting, but avoiding. Saying it means acknowledging you already know the answer, and knowing the answer means you can no longer maintain ambiguity. Scorpio has no patience for that today. What you've been softening for someone else's comfort is about to be spoken clearly, not cruelly, but clearly. This is your moment to speak your truth and stop pretending you haven't already known it, Capricorn. Venus sextile Saturn speaks most directly to you. Today, the gap between what you have built and what you are being compensated in finances, recognition, or even in the relationships that require your discipline, but give back little, is going to be painfully clear. Scorpio and Saturn together create the least comfortable environment for self-deception. You already know your worth. The question this portal is asking is whether you are finally willing to require it from others. Not just accept what's handed to you. Right at the moment of genuine revelation, the psyche's protective architecture makes its final stand, not because danger lies ahead, but because the old identity feels it is being asked to surrender something. You may feel the pull to close this, to rationalize that you're fine, to find a more comfortable version of this message. That pull is not wisdom. It's the part of you that has been in charge of keeping the truth underground, finally feeling the ground shift. Fear at the edge of Scorpio's depth is not a warning to stop. It's cartographic evidence that you are standing exactly where transformation is waiting. The old patterns will attempt to reassert themselves, not because you're regressing, but because what is being displaced is making its final argument for survival. Let it make its case, then watch it dissolve. Because the case it's presenting is built on the very foundation it's asking you to preserve. With Neptune still fresh in Aries, that identity fire igniting collectively is now burning individually within you. Aries doesn't reward the person who waits for certainty before moving it. Rewards the one who moves with fear present, not absent. You do not need to be fearless. You need to be willing, and Scorpio knows the difference. When you stop maintaining a false version of reality, the energy you've been spending on keeping that illusion alive becomes available for actual movement. This isn't just metaphorical, this is practical. The moment you stop pretending, you free up real momentum. People in your life will begin responding to a version of you that no longer adjusts itself to manage their comfort. Some will rise to meet this new version of you, others may create distance. Do not interpret either response as a reflection of your worth, interpret both as information about alignment. What is meant for you will never be pushed away, and what isn't meant for you will begin to fall away effortlessly. Financial patterns that have felt stuck in cycles of undervaluing will begin to shift, not because the market changed, but because the internal framework generating those patterns has been reworked. Venus sextile Saturn rewards the person who has done this inner reckoning, bringing lasting structural improvements rather than temporary relief. Opportunities that match who you are actually becoming will start to appear in the space vacated by what you've released. These opportunities may not look exactly like what you imagined, but they will feel authentic. They will feel like what you deserve, not just what you hoped for. The Scorpio Moon, paired with the post-full moon field, means that misaligned situations have unusually little fog around them right now. What needs to move will move. What is genuinely yours will consolidate. You are not watching your life change. You are watching it finally respond to the version of you that stopped pretending. What surfaces during a Scorpio portal does not disappear when the moon moves on it can, however, be pushed back down. Integration is the act of refusing to let it sink back into the shadows. This is not the time for dramatic decisions made from raw emotional exposure. Scorpio's power comes from depth, not speed. What you understand tonight, sleep on it. What you confirm in the morning is what has always been true. The one action to take today is simple. Name the truth to yourself. In writing, privately, one sentence that begins with, "The thing I've been pretending not to know is." Naming a shadow doesn't destroy you. It returns the power that shadow has been using to shape your choices from below. The new version of you doesn't need external validation. It needs your own witness. Give it that first. April 3rd was never just a moon transit. It was a precision instrument crafted by the exact configuration of the sky to reach exactly what you've been carrying. And it found you. Everything you've been confusing for weakness, the sensitivity, the knowing, the inability to fully commit to a version of yourself that no longer fits, that was never weakness. It was your soul refusing to finalize a lie. The Scorpio moon does not take, it returns. It returns to you the power that has been living in the things you refuse to look at. The energy that was maintaining your emotional archive in the shadows is now yours to redirect. You are not the person who scrolled past this. You are the person who stayed, who let it land, who felt the truth arrive before the mind could negotiate it away. Now, leave your declaration below, not just a comment, but a covenant, the one word that names what you are no longer carrying in secret, and subscribe, not as habit, but as a commitment to the version of yourself that just chose honesty over comfort. You are not here by chance. Scorpio does not reach everyone. It reaches the ones whose truth is strong enough to survive being seen. That is you. You go deeper now, and nothing will look the same from the other side of what you just acknowledged. You are chosen. And now you move with your full power, rather than the fraction you are allowing yourself. The shadow has been witnessed. The chosen one has arrived.